Peace, 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 and we are live. Welcome to another Post-Maafa Reconstruction. My name is Tahuti Forever. I am the architect of MelaNation. We are here today to speak to the audience. We're here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's Arizona time. And we welcome our visitors, we welcome our viewers to participate and to understand that we're here to listen to any um, suggestions that you may have in reference to our company. Miss Lizzie Woody, please introduce yourself.
Hey. This is Lizzie Woody, longtime resident here in Arizona. And my time spent here has been really mostly about community, making sure that we get information and not assume that people are getting information. I am so glad that MelaNation app is an option because it is about the people. It is for the people, by the people meaning us, of course. Um, to learn more about what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, but making sure that the community is aware of what we're doing so that the community can support what we're doing. So, what's up, Black Arizona? What's up,
Yes.
Black America?
What's
MelaNation
up,
App.
Black America? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We do have our guest speaker, Miss A. Brittany Reeves, and she will be introducing us to the things she does in our community during the Melanomics segment here at around 6:30. For the time being, let me go ahead and introduce the family to the MelaNation app via this brief commercial.
The emergence of an inspired event is now on the move, requiring all hands on deck. So here is why you should share. We have substantially invested in a systematic approach to Black economics. Our mission is to empower and uplift our community, both online and in the physical world where birds fly. Interestingly, your monthly vote steers the direction of the company. Introducing MelaNation, a cutting-edge TV and an internet platform. It's making its way to the world stage with over 400 pages of state-of-the-art features. Features include movie streaming, a production studio for influencers where your production will be displayed through the television, a dating site that can be accessed through the TV, a Google Maps-powered satellite mapping system for registered Black-owned businesses and entertainment, making it easier for you to locate the community near you, and much more. We're bringing everything the community needs under one roof in order to build the proper infrastructure across the nation. Learn more on the Facebook page, family. The time is now for your participation to shape the direction of this community-powered company.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Now, I played this video and I still get the same questions. The question normally is, so what exactly does your app do? And I think the reason why that question still comes up is because it does multiple things. It's not a one faceted type of an app. It's a multifaceted app. So we're looking to galvanize our community, to bring the community under one roof. And what we'd like to do is provide the services that our community needs. So one aspect of the app is to provide services for the community. Another aspect of the app is we're offering tools for entertainment. So that's the way we're bringing the community to us, is through entertainment. But then we're also offering community services, job opportunities. We're offering new streams of income. So there's a lot of different services that we're offering on the other side of just entertainment factor. So people will still ask me, so what does that mean? What do you guys do? So we're definitely going to dive into, we're going to show the prototype of the app. We're going to definitely show the website, our website, because we do have the website up. The MelaNation app is not due to actually launch publicly until September 15th of 2000. So we are a year and a month from today, because today is August 19th. So yeah, we're a year and a month away from the launch of the app before it goes public. However, we are continuously, diligently building the app. So the members of the MelaNation community currently has the app. Like we already actually have the app on our phones, downloaded and things. So, but because it's such a large app, Miss Lizzie Woody, how many pages of features does the app have?
I believe 400. Is that correct?
That's correct. We have over 400 pages of state-of-the-art features. So it's going to take a while before all these pages have all the I's dotted, T's crossed, and I's.
Absolutely.
So we do have some time in front of us. Meanwhile, what we're doing is we're introducing the public to people who are supporters of the app, to our scholars. We've had a lot of major scholars and a lot of teachers and educators here on our channel. And we're introducing everyone to the concept of unity. There's other organizations that are doing similar things, so we bring them on the channel as well. Last week, we had this beautiful organization online where she went through all the different web pages that are crucial. Like these are crucial web pages that she designed and invented from scratch because she does the coding. These websites were from understanding your environment. Like you can type in your zip code and it'll tell you the air quality, water quality, the quality of the land. She had web pages that tell you how to get grants, like step by step. Just go onto the web page and you will see the process of how to get grants. She brought us up on so many different web pages and these were applicable features. These were features that everyone really needs to utilize to get an advancement in life. And there were some web pages that had small fees. You had to have some tokens and things to get onto a website, but the information was critical. We've had a lot of my direct teachers and scholars here on our channel. Miss Jean-Pierre, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Marjorie M.J. Janvier, and I am the co-host for Post-Maafa Reconstruction. I'm a comedian, I'm an author, and I just do so much. But I'm happy to be here today, and I'm glad you're here.
Yes, Miss Janvier, thank you for inviting Miss Reeves. This is going to be a great show. If you can tilt your camera down just a little bit, that would be great. And did you have the opportunity to load the web page up? Looks like she might have froze.
Oh, let me do that right now.
Okay, fantastic. So when you have that up, we'll introduce the family to the web page.
Okay.
For now, let me show the actual business card that we have here. So our webpage is melanation.co, not melanation.com. There's no M on the end. It's melanation.co, where you can log on and you can see exactly what we are as a business, what we stand for. You can reach out to us on our contacts page and you can ask whatever questions that you would like to ask. One moment here. So yes, we are here on YouTube under MelaNation App. You can find us on Facebook under MelaNation App. And if you feel the calling to help the cause by donating, you can donate to our Cash App, which is $MelaNation App. I don't see your share screen. Ms. Jean-Pierre is not on there yet. Okay, I see it here now. let me go ahead and share this so you can familiarize our community with our webpage here.
Okay, sounds good.
That should be sharing.
It says stop sharing, so it must be sharing. Okay. I'm just so happy to be a part of this Post-Maafa Reconstruction because we need to go ahead and reconstruct. And a lot of people need to know about that. So let me know when you're ready. When you're ready, I'm ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Oh, okay. I said, when you're ready, I'm ready. Here we go. Okay, so every melanation starts with you. And my computer is trying to block me from seeing the page. Okay, Mela Community is a powerful all-in-one platform designed to connect, empower, and elevate the global melanated community. From networking to business growth to content, events, and opportunities, everything lives in one ecosystem.
Yes, indeed. If I can briefly interrupt you while you go to the next screen. So MelaNation will be downloadable to your Apple iPhone. It'll be downloadable to Android phones, and it will be downloadable to your television. In a moment, she's going to show you that we're going to be streaming movies as well. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is built for the community, powered by opportunity. Mela Community is not just another social app. It's a digital nation where culture, comments, and collaboration come together. Whether you're a creator, entrepreneur, professional, or community leader, this is your home.
Exactly. So what we're doing is we're building a community where the users of the app itself are people who vote on the direction that the app should go in. We have delegates that are voted in by our users. Those delegates are in control of a lot of the productivity of the app, and our users can enlist to become delegates. They can also enlist to become assessors. Go ahead, Ms. Janvier.
Okay, Mela News is a core feature. Mela News, a Post-Maafa reconstruction instrument. The Post-Maafa reconstruction phase begins with narrative sovereignty. After centuries of displacement, extraction, and dissertation, our first responsibility is to reclaim the power to define reality for ourselves. Reconstruction cannot occur while our stories are being told by outsiders, filtered through hostile systems, or reduced to a spectacle. A people disconnected from their own narrative cannot coordinate their future.
Right, and this is one of the main aspects. We have to have to be empowered, to have our own voice, to be able to share our stories from our own Afro-centered perspective, right, instead of being told what we should think about ourselves from, the people who's been oppressing us for so long. So having our own narratives is very important. So that is the core feature. When you very first log on to the app, you'll reach the home screen of the app, and the Mela News will be playing. So you'll be updated on what's going on in our communities and what's going on with our company.
Right. Delegates is a core feature. MelaNation is a digital representation of the conscious community, placing the fate of the community back into the hands of the community itself. To achieve this, MelaNation is governed by a committee of delegates chosen directly by the people. Leadership is not appointed from above, nor concentrated in isolation. Delegates are selected through collective decision-making, funded and staffed by the community, and empowered only to the extent that they produce measurable positive impact.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
And our next section on the MelaNation app is movies. It's another core feature. We utilize entertainment as a strategic gateway to reach the community at large. Culture draws us in, but consciousness keeps us together. Through shared stories, music, and creativity, we gather the people, transforming attention into alignment and participation into purpose. Galvanizing the community is not a slogan, it is the mechanism of empowerment.
Ashe. So that's what we do is we bring in the youth through entertainment. We bring in, you can go ahead and head to the bottom.
Oh,
You can scroll down. Yeah, that's fine right there. Or yeah, let those slides slide through so that people can see what's going on. Allow the slides. Yeah, there we go.
okay.
So I was saying that, yeah, we have movies in order to, let me mute your phone. Mute you out real quick. Okay. So we utilize entertainment. We have a lot of different type of entertainment apps. I mean, on the features on the app, we have dating aspects. So MelaNation is one of the only apps where you can go onto your television and you can participate in dating through the television. We have live videos, dating live, fast dating, and these are all these things you'll be able to use your television remote control like this, and you will be able to slide left, slide right, pick the people you like, pick the people you don't like. You'll be able to do all those things through your television. So we want to be innovative, and we want to show people that we have excellence. That way, when you come on to our app, you know it's unlike any other app. We can see some of the things that's on this screen. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Ms. Javier, can you scroll down to make it a little smaller so we can see some of the slides here? Just scroll the size down, which will be Shift in the scroll down button. Oh, she came off she's no longer on. That being said, what I'll do is I will share the prototype. We'll share the prototype of the app so we can actually put our hands on the actual app itself. 1 second. I'm sure Ms. Janvier will be back shortly. Okay, so this is our prototype. Now I can't see the prototype and the StreamYard feed at the same time, so I would need you guys to tell me if you can see this moving. Can you see that moving? Anyone? Is it moving?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now that we know we have this functioning correctly, this is the home page of the app itself. This is a prototype. Since this prototype, we have upgraded the concept of the app several times, and it's getting better and better with every upgrade. We do have over 49 features, whereas this prototype is only showing about 22 of our features. But this at least allows us to see what's actually happening. On the very top here, we do show the Mela News. The next slide here, you can see dating, in-app messaging, movies, Mela News, Mela Market. The delegates, you'll be able to learn who the delegates are, and you'll be able to run as a delegate. Every month we'll be choosing additional delegates, so you always have an opportunity to become a delegate. We have allies, which is the same as your friends. And we have empires, which is the same as groups. Now, this section here, this is for highlighted profiles. For any users that's done something in Black Excellence, they'll have their own section on the homepage. And here at the bottom, again, you'll see the delegates and who all the delegates are. If you scroll to the left, you'll see the other features that we also have. Okay, Ms. Janvier has come back into the studio. Let me add her back in. Okay, yeah, Ms. Janvier, we ended up
I'm back. I was kicked off. So.
Yeah, we ended up moving over to the prototype. Is there any areas of the prototype that you would like us to discuss, or anyone? Or if there's any questions, Ms. Reeves?
About the prototype exactly?
Or anything that we've produced or introduced you to so far?
No questions. I'm actually just kind of taking it all in. I like
Any
having
questions about anything we
the
said?
delegates. No, not so far.
Okay. Ms. Lizzie, is there an area you would like me to dive into on this prototype? We've got to unmute your mic. All right.
Okay.
The movies?
Oh, okay.
Or the,
That's
Yeah.
a really straightforward one. Let's dive into the movies. Let's go back over here. Oh. And let's dive into our movies. So we're going to stream the same similar movies. We want to be competitive. Movies, that is a very expensive and costly journey to get into, but we like to be, we definitely want to have the best movies on our channel that we can receive on the channel. In addition to the movies that you'll see at the theaters, we also have the MelaNation's studio, where our users can create their own scenes, movies. They can create their own, what do you call it? The influencers that create their own information that they give out. That information will be played alongside of the movies as well. Similar to YouTube, where you have your own profile on the television, where you can play your own substance. So that'll be played along with this. Also, we'll be having videos through our dating, the live dating, the fast dating, the speed dating. All of those things will be in the profiles on your television alongside of the movies and television shows. So yeah, but that is pretty straightforward. So you can watch the movies as well as you can create your own information, and it'll also be uploaded onto the television. Ms. Janvier, what area should we dive into on the app? Are you frozen, Ms. Janvier? All right, she might be frozen. So what I'll do is I'll select the leaderboard. So the leaderboard, something unique about our app here, and let me mute out that typing. Who's typing? Let's see. I think that might be Ms. Janvier. Okay. So what's unique about our app is everything that you click on, some of those items will give you credits. Okay, so let's say you post a post for the first time of the day on our app. You'll get points for posting your first post. You get points for commenting on people's posts. You'll get points for people liking your posts. And what happens with those points is you'll go higher on the leaderboard. This is the leaderboard. So these are actionable points. So there are actions that you do on the app that produce points that brings you higher on the leaderboard. And the reason why we decided to do that is because we want to know who's mostly using the app, who's more interactive within the community, who's a bigger part of the community. So the top 800 people who has the most points, and they have to be on what's called the Prime Board. So the collective board is for all users. The Prime Board is only for African American, Black, melanated users. The reason why we separated it is because the Prime Board gives people authority to actually give direction to our company. And the only people who will have authority in our company will be other melanated users. That's why it's called MelaNation, because this is a nation of people that has authority that are melanated people. We don't want to have outsiders telling us how we should interact with each other or what direction we should go in. But how the authority works is you have to be the top 800 on this leaderboard, at which point you'll be offered a voluntary position to become an assessor. An assessor is a user who has the ability to gauge and to grade our delegates. Anybody on the Prime Board can also run to become a delegate. Anyone on the Prime Board has the ability to become an assessor. If you're not on the Prime Board, then you will not have those abilities. You do have to go through a screening process before you can get onto the Prime Board. So the screening process that we have on our apps on our phones right now is facial recognition, downloading a government ID, and then it has to be approved through an assessor or a delegate. Do we have any questions going forward at this point? If not, we'll go ahead and move into our MelaNomics segment.
I have a question.
Sure.
What exactly are the perks of becoming a delegate, and what are the responsibilities?
Fantastic question. So the delegates are the people who are basically in charge of the company itself. There are 42 delegates. Delegates have three main responsibilities. One is to create new streams of income. The other is to create job opportunities for our users. And lastly is to create social services for people that are in need. What the delegates receive, excuse me, they receive funding from the app to actually invest in the things that they're looking to invest in, and they receive staffing from our community. So they receive the staffing and the funding, and then they're responsible to do those three things. They're responsible to create new streams of income. So they can't just sit on the funding that we're giving to them, because that funding is just a stimulus. We don't expect to continue to dole out that funding on a monthly basis. We expect that the delegates will be successful and the money will start coming in from their investments. But that's a stimulus. So they're responsible to provide new streams of income, provide job opportunities for our users, and social services. So the reason why new streams of income is separate from job opportunities is because what a lot of people, if you have a lot of money, what you normally do is you invest in the stock market, or you do some kind of brokerage fund, or invest in bonds or things like that, which are guaranteed. So if the delegates want to be in the green, guaranteed, all they'd have to do is invest in bonds, because you cannot lose in city bonds. But that doesn't qualify them for the job opportunities. So they also have to create job opportunities. Did that answer your question there?
Yes, thank you. That explains a lot of what we talked about.
Yes. But again, the app has over 400 pages, and there's a lot of information. Like, if we really spent the time on it, it would take us a couple of hours to go through it, fine tune in the details of the company's vision. But at this point, Miss Lizzie, did you have something you wanted to ask?
Yes, I was just thinking, what would be an example of a job opportunity?
Yes.
Good question.
So the delegates, again, there are 42 delegates. They are responsible for brainstorming and creating job opportunities. Now, I can think of certain job opportunities that off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean that those are the things that the delegates would sign on to, and they are the people who
Right.
has that job. Ms. Jambier, can you angle your camera down a little bit more? But let's say there are our delegates invest in, let's say, a laundromat where they need to hire people. Let's say they invest in a salon where they can hire several beauticians. But these are anything that they invest in that's going to require to hire people to staff that location would be job opportunity.
Okay.
Right. Ms. Janvier, your mic is muted.
And I was saying like a daycare because everything is based on what their community needs at the time is why they set up that business.
Ashe. And that's a really, really
Like,
great point.
you know, you'd be a lot of job opportunities at it.
Yes.
And they get paid on what they're already doing, on doing those things.
So the point that you're making that I really like is the fact that we're going to be receiving feedback from the community. So Ms. Janvier was saying that a daycare is likely going to be on the list because a lot of people are going to need daycares, and they'll probably give us a feedback. Well, we need a daycare in Los Angeles. And at that point, the delegates will likely agree to put a daycare where it's needed because we already have the clients. If you're saying you need a daycare here,
The audio is going in and out.
my audio is clear. Your audio is a little glitchy.
Time, like two people. Oh, they're back now.
Ms. Janvier,
Okay.
that's on your end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your internet is a little slow. Everyone else is clear.
Let me ask a question.
Oh, it's me.
Go ahead, Miss Lizzie.
As far as the daycare, once that it's established that the daycare is a need, is that a MelaNation daycare or investing in a daycare that is owned and operated by someone else, or what does that look like?
So there's several ways that could come about. MelaNation will always have partial ownership, if not 100% ownership. So let's say there's a daycare that's already Black owned and it's in the area that people are saying they need a daycare. Well, we might just look into that and say, hey, you need a daycare, but there's already a daycare there. Figure out why they're not going to that daycare and invest in that daycare. But as we invest in that daycare, we would take partial ownership based on the amount that we're investing in it. But let's say there is no daycare there, then we would just build one from the ground up, and it will be a MelaNation daycare from the ground up. But again, these are things coming out of my understanding of things the way I would like to see it done.
Right.
However, the people that are making these decisions
It makes sense.
Absolutely,
right. So that's all the way up to them. That being said, we are going to go ahead and move forward into the MelaNomics segment. Yes, indeed. Let me see if I can get some of these screens off.
Batter up.
That being said, our guest speaker today is it Brittany Reeves? How do you pronounce your first name?
Yes, it's A. Brittany Reeves.
Fantastic. Please introduce yourself and explain to us exactly what you do for the community.
Okay, wow. My name is A. Brittany Reeves, and hey, Miss MJ. I'm essentially, at the bare basics, just a consultant. And I say just, but in actuality, what I do is I take people's concepts and I extract their expertise and I make it into whatever it is that they want to do. So in the past, I've helped build manuscripts for their books. I've helped build their workbooks and study guides, help them create their courses, all those types of things. And having a background in broadcasting and marketing and just the interest in technology in that fashion, I've always been the go-to person for that. And so with my consulting company and with the direction that AI is taking us, we're pivoting our offering to include AI and kind of breaking down the what's the word I'm looking for? The stigma about and around using AI as a tool that it is.
Okay. How'd you get into that field?
Honestly,
Okay.
it's I started in general just being aware of digital tools. Like, for example, I was using Canva in 2014, before anybody really was on it. I was in school getting my media communications degree from Full Sail. And being a writer, being a poet, I decided I wanted to focus more on the writing aspect of things and less on the broadcasting and podcasting and stuff like that. And from there, though, I never lost the interest in digital tools. I never lost an interest in business. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so if I was not helping my mom, I was helping some of my mom's friends. I'm a VP in her nonprofit. And so there's just always people along the way in my journey that I've supported, either with tutoring them on how to write, for college, helping them write their books, reviewing their manuscripts and editing them down, helping them create, content from their things. And I ideate so well that the downloads come very quickly. And so when I saw AI, I was originally kind of approaching it from the same stigma that I see a lot of people approach it from, as a writer who writes books. I'm like, how is it that you're feeding my intellectual property to this machine, and now it has all the rights in the world to mimic me and copy me? And I didn't like that. The deep fakes that we know to be happening, at one point it was just on a government level, and now it's on a local community level. Anybody can make a fake at this point.
Yeah.
People are making AI clones of themselves, and I see
Mhm.
the potential benefit and the detriment of those things. But listening to Cindy Trim, Dr. Cindy Trim, she's one of the spiritual leaders that I like to listen to,
Oh, wow.
along with Myron
Love her.
Golden and
Me too.
Dr. Miles Monroe. May he rest in peace.
Oh,
And
wow.
Dr. Cindy Trim has spoken about AI for years, and she was not afraid of AI. She was not afraid of the development of technology. And I often wondered, like, how can I find a way to embrace this? And being a writer and being a poet, I have a bunch of like lyrics that I've written down or poems that I feel like could have music. But even in being in music studios and being around creatives, finding a producer or a musician or something like that to um, get the concept out of my head and onto, the record, or to even have the time and then eventually the money to pay the people to do those things, resources just became scarce. And so I saw AI as a way to express myself as a one woman show that I typically would end up being. I mean, how many times have we had a group project and you're the only one doing the work?
Right.
So it started out with me just doing solo podcasting at one point. But I love making books. And so I started focusing on that and just learning and dabbling here and there. I got into learning more about ChatGPT, learning about Claude, Jasper, and things like that. And it was a goal of mine to be certified in learning about these AI tools and stuff like that. And so I came across Alicia Little. She's the queen of AI. And with her guidance, I've been able to better understand how I can weave AI into my business without it really like being my business, if that makes sense. I'm fully for the hybrid approach to AI. I don't think AI should take over a job. I think that AI should be the supplement. It should be the help. You know, how many times have solopreneurs wear so many hats and they're like, man, if I just had an assistant, if I
Right.
just had somebody to answer this phone, if I just had somebody to take this meeting. And I've always wondered, what would it be like to make so much money that I have an assistant? And now I have my own chief of staff. That's my AI agent. And I'm getting texts like, oh, hey, by the way, here's a summary of your emails today. Here's what action items you need to take, this and that. I'm like, oh, thanks. I forgot about that. And I feel like how I thought I would feel by having a personal assistant. And so I'm like, this is actually something
That's
that I think a lot of people can take advantage of while abating some of the stigma.
Right. Ms. Janvier, did you have any questions at this point? No, I do have one more question here for you. Because you started off talking about the community and the things that was happening in your beginning. Why is the community important to you?
That's a very good question, Judy. Honestly, it's my home. I've always had a heart for small businesses and nonprofits, and it could be because my mom started hers in 2001, and I was her little shadow. So I was going everywhere with her while, you know, she was doing her programs at summer schools and community centers and gyms and churches and all those types of things. But even when I learned about economics and stuff in school, it was just the innovation is what I admired. You know, I used to live in PG County in Maryland, and I actually have a book up here. It's called Like a Phoenix I'll Rise, and it talks about the different Black people in PG County, like the history of Black people in PG County. And there's, you know, politicians and there's business people. And then I hear about, you know, Greenwood and Tulsa and Black Wall Street, how it was like 8 to 10 Black business people, and they just changed the whole landscape. Unfortunately, it burned down, obviously, but, you know, it only took 10 people, you know, to really like solidify their own community, to create something substantial for people
Right.
to buy into it and put into it enough to where it thrives. And I'm just like, that's admirable. If you look at back in the day, people were doing big things at 21. You know, like they had mad motion.
Yeah.
That's why they died so young, because they did so much in a short amount of time. And I'm like, how is it that I'm 37 and I still ain't done this, you know? And you know, I mean, I don't like to compare myself, but there's often times where I'm like, man, there's so much more I could do, you know. And there's so many poets, there's so many authors, there's so many creatives that have quality work. I could just go down to LA, go to Leimert Park, and I still get compliments on a pair of pants that were custom made, that I bought out of a little shop on the block in Leimert. That's talent, you know, but it's like you don't really get a chance to see it too much. And it bothers me when I see genius poets selling their books out of their trunks for $20 here and there, when if they really had the tools necessary, or they knew how to leverage certain tools that we now have, they could be giving their message and their story out to way more people.
Yeah, we're definitely living in different times, and there are definitely pros and cons to the times that we're living in. Like you brought up a really good pro as far as being able to use AI to strengthen the business that you have. That's definitely a con that the ancestors back in like 1920, 1930 didn't have access to. But of course, back then, the struggle was more of a daily forefront where they have to address it on the front foot, because the laws, you had the Jim Crow laws, you had segregation, you had all these different things that worked in a sense to strengthen the Black community. You know, when the nation at large was going through a recession, we were not going through a recession because we was not really integrated into the country. So what they had going on did not affect us, and what we had going on did not affect them to that extent, right? But
Mhm.
now we've integrated, so now we're all one, and everything affects everyone, and we don't have as much unity on the level of melanated communities. We don't have that like they had back then.
Mhm.
Um, so they were able to do
You know
things
what
with.
you were saying reminded me, Michael.
Go ahead, Ms. Janvier. I'm pretty sure we have a delay.
Hello.
I was telling Ms. Janvier to go ahead. I'm pretty sure we have a delay.
Okay, I was saying what you were talking about, how we weren't affected. It reminded me of a sitcom called Good Times, where I remember one so where Florida Evans said, we went through the shortage and we didn't even know there was one back in the 70s. So,
Yeah, because
so
it
yeah,
wasn't.
we didn't
We
affected
didn't.
by some of those things like that
Yeah,
because
we
we
didn't go
weren't a
through a
part of it. We
recession. They
didn't
went through a
have the
recession.
funds or
Mhm.
need for those things.
Right. Exactly. So at this time, I know, Ms. Reeves, you have a presentation. If you would like to go ahead and dive in, let us know exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. How much time do I have?
As much time as you need.
Oh, don't tell me that now.
How much time you need, that's
Well, I prepared for an hour, but I wasn't sure if we still had that time, so I just wanted to make sure.
That's totally fine.
Okay. I want to make sure I get my notes on the side here, and then I'll be ready to
give us
click
what
the
you got,
tool.
girl.
Miss Lizzie Woody. Miss Lizzie Woody, did you have any questions for our guest speaker?
I have a word for everyone, which is
Synchronicity.
serendipity.
Serendipity.
Serendipity. She's saying everything that I want to hear. I love it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Miss Lizzie. So
Ditto. I
she said, "Ditto." Hey now. So as you can see on the
Yeah,
screen,
I
it,
agree.
it
Serendipity.
says it says your organization probably has an asset that doesn't appear anywhere on your balance sheet. That's facts. That's your knowledge. Your knowledge doesn't show up on your balance sheet. It's
Ashe.
inquantifiable. You can't really put a number on that, right? My company is called The Wild Company. We're an AI powered authority in knowledge monetization consultancy. It's basically not really your real estate. It's not about your equipment. It's not about your client list. As we already established, it's your knowledge. It's about what you know that is really the value here, right? As a founder of Wild Company, I spend my time helping people turn what they know, into something that works even when they're not in the room. Is that a value? I think so. So let's talk about why that asset
Definitely.
usually stays locked up and what it costs when it does. So you see this question here on the screen. It says, how much of what you know can create value when you're not at a room? You can say, I know how to do it. I just haven't written it down. How many of y'all have that as that being the case? I know I have a lot of ideas. So that's one of those is me. It's somewhere in my Google Drive, in my notes, on my phone. It's in my Otter voice recording app. It's in my voice memos. Okay, great. You might be the person that says, "Well, I keep meaning to turn my memos into something. I keep meaning to put my voice notes into a book." Or people always ask me the same questions, and I keep saying the same things, and all of that all of that has everything to do with your expertise. So if you ask yourself, like, how much of what you know can create the value, for most people, The answer is not much, because they either lack expertise, but because the expertise never left their head or their inbox or a folder, nobody is aware of it. Nobody heard of it. So if you could just either, if you're watching live and you want to comment me if any of these things that I've said is you so far. Because I feel like that's basically everyone. Okay.
Me,
The
me,
problem
me,
is that
me, me,
like me.
me,
the
me,
problem
me.
the problem is that almost it's never a lack of knowledge. You know your stuff. Okay. The problem is mostly either extracting that knowledge, organizing it, distributing it. I know I typically have an issue with the distribution part sometimes. The monetization of the knowledge that you already have. Okay, so why does the knowledge stay stuck? Well, it's because of what happens to the person who has the knowledge, right?
Mhm.
So remember we talked a little bit earlier about, like, wearing multiple hats as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, even if you have a small team of like 3 to 5.
Mhm.
What you see on the screen is the founder expert bottleneck. And if you build anything around your own expertise, what you see on the screen is your chain of life. You think of the idea, you write it down, maybe you post it, maybe you sell it, you answer people's questions about it, you teach it if you're the coaches and the people with the courses, but then you follow up and then you deliver it, and then you figure out that all 8 steps is you. And that's one nervous system that has to deal with all of that, all that work, all that stress, all that pressure. So the real diagnosis is this: the business has plenty, an overabundance of intellectual capital, but what it doesn't have is capacity. How many times have you felt burnt out? Or you're just like, I just need a moment. I need all the noise to just simmer down. That's a question of capacity. So you're not short on ideas, you're just a little short on hours. And this is where my company's operating model comes in, because the fix isn't do more stuff. It's not post more. It's not do more work. It's not have more offers. It's really changing the who or the what that's responsible for each link in your chain.
Okay.
Any questions so far from the panel?
No,
Okay.
I don't know what to say, because I feel that you are a part of the family, because what you are talking about affects us all,
Indeed.
if that makes
Exactly.
sense.
Bullseye.
Now, remember I mentioned I listened to Myron Golden a lot. If I'm not mistaken, it might have been either a few weeks ago or a month ago. He put out a video about a simplifier and multiplier concept that he had learned. And I asked myself, like, how does that apply to my AI process, right? So every business essentially needs a simplifier and a multiplier. And in the video, Myron Golden says, well, which one are you? Well, the simplifier is the part of you or your team that does the actual thinking. They create the value, they solve the problem, they develop the idea, they build the framework, they use judgment, they use their brain. Nobody replaces this, because remember, we're doing a hybrid approach, right? We're not saying think for me, AI. We're saying I want to use my brain, but I need you to help me do what my brain is thinking. So the multiplier is the distribution. It's turning one idea into a product. It's a LinkedIn post. It's a newsletter. It's a blog, a slide, a follow-up email, an SOP, client FAQ, whatever it is. But it's repetitive structural work. And that right there is exactly where I find AI is the most useful. So when people ask, well, should I use AI for this? My first filter is it simplifier work or is it multiplier work? So AI is a phenomenal multiplier, but it's a terrible simplifier. I want you guys to think to keep those rows straight. And most AI decisions, when you start to get in the throes of things, they get a lot easier when you have this a general filter. Someone's still trying to bug me. Okay, but let's talk a little bit more about where most people go wrong. Okay, when they actually try to use AI as a multiplier, and why so many people walk away highly disappointed. Okay, you'll hear this a lot. AI sounds so generic. Ugh. You ever thought to ask yourself why? Have you ever seen AI flyers for events and why they all look the same now? This is why. Okay. So almost everybody's first AI experience is something like, hey, make me a Facebook post about leadership, or make me a marketing plan, or make me a business plan. And then they hit enter and they get something super bland and watered down. And then they conclude that AI is overhyped. But in truth, AI didn't actually fail, the brief did. So what's missing every time is context, objective, constraints, audience information, examples, decision criteria, a big one, workflow information. And these are the exact things that you would give a new employee before asking them to represent your business, right? So when you get a new employee, you give them an SOP, you give them an MOU, you give them all this material on how to do their job. Why do you not do that for your AI? So
Right.
the mental model is called prompting. Prompting isn't just typing into a search engine like, hey, Google, find me a this and that. No, it's actual brief. It's briefing a smart new employee on their first day. So you wouldn't hand a new hire one sentence and expect it to be polished, on brand. The brand Bible is embedded in their brain all of a sudden. No, that's not going to happen. That expectation is wild, and having that expectation of AI is no different. So at Wild Company, what we do is we use a simple structure for that briefing, and I'm going to teach it to you right now. Are y'all
Okay.
ready? Are y'all got your notebooks out? This is now officially a workshop. Okay, get your notebook.
Let me get
I
my
have a
notebook.
Write it
question.
down.
I do have a question for you. So,
Sure.
which version of AI do you prefer?
Was that the complete question?
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
which,
it
which
sounded like
one
you
do you
guys say something
prefer?
else.
I was gonna extend it, but it was gonna just repeat itself. So, yeah, which
Okay,
do you prefer?
so are you talking about which platforms I use?
Yes.
Okay, I use different platforms for different things, but my primary two or three right now is Base 44, ChatGPT, and Claude, and
Say
they
that
all
in
serve
slow motion.
different purposes.
Okay, repeat those three platforms you use.
ChatGPT,
Okay.
Claude,
Claude.
yes, Claude.ai, and Base 44.
Oh my goodness.
And I can get into those purposes a little bit later when we start talking about where they place.
Okay.
But put a pin in that for me, okay?
Good.
Any other questions?
No, not at all.
May I continue?
Continue,
Please
please.
do.
Okay. So this is the brief framework. This is what you want to do when you're prompting your new AI employee, even if it's just a regular chat GPT chat. So B is your background. It's who is talking, who's listening, what's the context. Okay. R is the role. What expertise or voice should the AI take on? I is intent. That's what your business outcome, like what you're actually trying to create in the business. It's not just a post. You know what I mean? It's the actual intent. E is for expectations. It's your point of view, your tone, what you want to include, what you refuse to sound like, because sometimes AI makes suggestions and assumptions. There's also a thing called hallucinations. So you got to be able to put constraints around your prompt to avoid some of those things. F is for format, the actual shape of the output. So if you say, I want a presentation, or do you want a presentation on, let's see, what's one of the ones? Do you want a presentation on Google Slides? Do you want a presentation on PowerPoint? Do you want a presentation that's really a video? Like all those things have to be considered and should be put into the prompt. So a simple test. If you wouldn't hand this much direction to a new employee, don't hand it to AI. and then expect a great result. Okay. So I want to do a quick live demo. Tootie, can you actually help me out with this?
Sure.
I would like you to open up well, actually, instead of doing that, because I actually have the prompt, I'm going to actually share a different screen real quick. so you guys can see what it is that I'm doing here.
Okay.
But while you guys are watching, feel free to kind of do it along with me. For those on the panel, I'll put it in the private chat so you guys can see on your own how to do it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you need to unshare, first unshare, and then you can hit the share screen again.
Okay.
I see it here. Let me remove that.
Okay, I was
and
about to
we'll
try
add you in
doing it.
here.
Okay,
There you
great. All right, so we're in Claude. So if you guys are watching and you're following along, you're doing this live, I want you to go to claude.ai. I'm already logged in, so I'm not sure if the /new matters, but you want to get into it to where you see something like this. It looks just like ChatGPT.
Claude/AI.com.
Claude.ai.
Claude dot.
Community, I hope you're listening. I'm really serious about this.
All right, is everybody on Claude?
I'm not. I'm just on this wide screen. Let me make it smaller.
We are not the most tech savvy
You
panel
You
here.
will be by the end of this meeting. No.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, we're spelling Claude, CLAUDE.
Yes. And it's just claude.ai, and then you should be able to come to the screen.
Claude.ai. Got that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to do just a live, no editing, no nothing. This is all live right now, so you guys can see the difference. So first I'm going to paste in just a general prompt, the way that most people do, or the way most people prompt AI. So we're just going to say, hey, write me a LinkedIn post about leadership. We're going to hit the little button here and see what it generates. Now, hopefully my computer doesn't take too long and be slow.
They do what they want to do sometimes.
Don't they? The mind of their own. So while it's generating, you got something?
My Claude is saying, how can I help you? What am I supposed to put in there? I'm slow.
Okay, so if you go to StreamYard, in the private chat, I typed in exactly what I typed in. It says, write me a LinkedIn post about leadership. Okay. So you want to type that into Claude.
Okay.
So it looks like Claude went ahead and produced something for me. He says, I'll write one with a specific angle rather than leadership advice. These tend to disappear in the feed. If you tell me your role in industry or paste a post you've written before, I can rework this in your voice or swap the angle entirely. There are much better versions of this if anchored to something you've actually seen happen. Now, this is why I like Claude, because Claude is basically prompting you to tell you what it needs to generate the best response. So right here, this post is saying, the most expensive thing a leader says is, here's what I think. This cost is in when they say it. And it's just kind of a general explanation about leadership. It doesn't really speak to much of anything specifically, right? Now, I do want to point out that, again, Claude is telling you, hey, give me your role, give me your industry. I can make it better. And that's what we want, right? So I have a much longer prompt that follows the brief framework, okay? I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's very hefty, but I went through and I typed in the background, I typed in the intent, I described the role that I had, and the voice that I wanted, the expectations. I did all of that. I took the time. You see how many words that is?
Right.
Right. So I'm saying, hey, I need help writing a LinkedIn post using the brief below. Follow it closely. So you see background, role, etc. So now let's see what it is that Claude is going to generate. And I would encourage you guys to follow your brief format for your company and your role and your leadership. And for the people on the panel, I'll go ahead and put that in the chat what the brief stands for, in case you forgot.
Okay.
Let me go back to my notes here so I can copy it for you. Because I want you guys to have all the tools so you can do all the things.
All right. Not sure I can do all those things, but I'll give it a try. And I'm sure I'm going to get better. I'll get better.
Yes. Okay, now mind you, I already do have my Google attached to my my Claude, so that's why it's saying, hey, do I want to send this document, this MD file to my Google Drive, or do I want to download it? I just want to see it. So let's see what they gave me. So they gave me LinkedIn post role clarity. I can download that, or I can look at the post directly. So
Wow.
let's see. I'm going to have it go to, I'll go ahead and just download it and see. Clarity and then the post.
We're definitely going to create some snippets from this.
Oh, yes, please, of course. And so now I'm opening up the Google Drive link. And once it loads up, I'll share what it looks like and what the delivery looks like. So basically, just to give you guys an idea, the background that I put in my prompt says, I'm an organizational leadership consultant who helps nonprofit executive directors manage teams during periods of rapid growth. My audience is nonprofit CEOs and executive directors running organizations with 10 to 50 employees. That's the background, 2 sentences, right? So let's share this tab. Can you guys see the Google Drive?
I see that.
Okay, so this is now the post with the link, with this LinkedIn post with the role clarity that I just described. So now Claude's like, well, here's a different answer. It's saying, well, hey, when an executive director, who's my audience, calls me about a team, what I help that executive director with, falling apart during growth, because I mentioned I help people during rapid growth periods, they almost always describe it as a communication problem. It almost never is. Already off the bat, it's specifically targeting my audience. And it's targeting my audience from an angle that is way more niche than just the general tell me about leadership.
Right.
You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to stop sharing for the Claude demo. But do you see now how important your prompting is when you're using things like chat and Claude and any other type of AI?
Point taken. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So a single prompt obviously is very, very powerful, but the thing is, it only does one thing one time. So what happens when you need that same judgment that you've now just trained your AI to think with, applied over and over and over automatically? Well, that's a different kind of build entirely. So can we share the PowerPoint again?
Sure thing.
Alrighty then. We already went to the demo. We already went over that, the weak prompt and the strong prompt. So here's where we are now, a prompt versus an agent, okay? So a prompt tells AI what to do once. That's what we just did. It's like, hey, write a follow-up email to this lead, one action, one time. Done. An agent is designed to repeatedly perform a role inside a system. So that's like me saying, hey, my chief of staff, I named him Solomon. Hey, Solomon, you're responsible for monitoring my new leads. You're responsible for identifying what type of lead it is, qualifying those leads for me, answering approved questions, that deciding the next step in the customer journey, updating my CRM, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a whole job description written for my AI agent. And it's not just a clever prompt. It's building something that can reliably hold the job description. And in order to do that, it needs a role, it needs an objective, a workflow, a knowledge base, boundaries, decision rules, and a bunch of other things. And that's the real design project. It's like making sure that you have all of the elements that you it's make sure you have all the elements that can fully equip your AI agent. And that's exactly what we built a framework for, so that it's easy to get through. I want to say we can design one now, but that's up to you guys. Do you want to design one, or do you just want me to go through it?
Let's go through it.
Okay,
We need
sounds
more
good.
with that.
Okay, so essentially, you want to ask yourself these 7 questions. We want to have the problem be identified, right? So let's say you have one repetitive task, like it's something that happens over and over, like handling incoming leads, for example. Or what's one of the problems with that? Well, the leads come in after hours because, I have an online business and I have a life, I got a wife and kids, and I can't answer leads at night because I'm putting the kids to bed. And these people don't get a response until like, noontime the next day, because I also got to take the kids to school and I got to do my morning errands. And then, by that time, it's been another like 12 hours of me missing leads. Okay. Well, now what role do you need this agent to play in order to help solve the problem? Well, I need a first response lead concierge. I need a virtual receptionist. I don't want a salesperson. I don't want a decision maker. I just need somebody to pick up the phone and answer some questions. Okay, so let's get into the responsibilities. What do you want this agent to do? Well, I want my agent to greet my prospect. I want them to say, hey, this is the Wild Company. This is MelaNation. This is what we do. I want them to identify what service they need, answer any approved questions like a FAQ, capture contact information, book an appointment to talk more. Or if I'm looking for investors, I want to be able to have them schedule appointments so I can meet with my investors, all that kind of stuff. I want them to do that. Okay, well, we need a knowledge base for that. We need to have a source that your AI agent can pull from to answer these questions. Okay. Well, then I'm going to need a list of your services. What are your pricing rules? What are your operating hours? What are the rules for booking? Do you only want to book, for the hour and have 15 minutes in between appointments? What do you want to do? And for that, it's like nothing that isn't explicitly given, right? Now, boundaries. You might say, well, I don't ever want my AI to invent prices. I don't want it to calculate anything. It should never give legal or medical advice. Hello, HIPAA. We don't want it to make any promises outside of our written policy. That's also in the knowledge base. Anytime there's a dispute, it needs to be escalated to a human. That's the escalation part. A lot of people skip this part. This is the moment where a conversation might get emotional. It might get ambiguous. There might be questions that the FAQ doesn't answer. It might be a very specific, nuanced situation. Maybe it's high stakes. Maybe it's someone who, if you're using this to take calls and appointments from investors, maybe it's like, hey, anything that they want to contribute over $1,000, I need you to call me so I can lock it in. If whatever that boundary is, once that boundary looks like it's about to be crossed, that's where the escalation comes in. Okay. And then, of course, lastly but not least, success. That's their response time, leads captured, appointments booked, percentages. And that's just in that example of a virtual assistant, right? So notice we're not talking about a chatbot anymore. We're not talking about oh, hey, what's the hours that you guys are open? We're not doing that. We're designing a digital role for a digital agent, digital employee. And that 7-question ladder is just a short version. We've actually formalized it into something that we call the AI agent architect.
What happens when it has an escalation? Does it automatically call the human person for this account?
If you're using a virtual receptionist like I'm using, it will just say, hey, it would note on the back end that there needs to be a call that I make, and it would note why. And verbally, it will say something like, okay, well, this person will get back to you and this and that, versus them trying to actually address the issue.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
And depending on the type of agent you create, you can determine what that escalation looks like. You can make it send you an email, you can make it call you, or whatever that might be. I know I use mine with WhatsApp. So whenever I want to communicate with my agent, it texts me on WhatsApp.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So yeah, the AI agent architect, I just want to show what it looks like. For now, I'm going to share just the first screen, if you don't mind. Here we go.
Right now, I'm just a fly on the wall.
Okay, you guys see it. So yeah, this is this is my my beta test for my AI architect. Essentially, this is what I would have people go through to help build their agent. And it's figuring out with these 7 to 8 questions, how exactly you're really going to put that together. So you can go through these modules, fill out these information, get a prompt. It'll generate a prompt for you to put into whichever app you want to use to build your agent. And if you don't want to do it by yourself and you want me to do it with you, or you want me to do it for you, then you would take that code and send it to my company. And then we'd help you use that information to build what it is that you want to build, versus us trying to figure out over the phone or in a discovery call or something like that, like how to, flesh this out. This allows you to kind of sit with the questions, be able to really thoroughly go through it and make sure that it's generating what it is that you want. So I just wanted to show you guys briefly what that looks like. The AI architect, this is a proprietary tool that the WOW company is using to help people build their own AI agents.
That is
Can you type in your contact information so that I can put it up on the screen?
So I can call you. No.
Let me type it in here. Oops. It's also on the last slide, but I'll put it in here just for you guys.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I actually just set up my my virtual assistant. I mean, not a virtual assistant, my virtual receptionist. And I've been making sure that they're running my test with that as well. So I'm going to put that number in as the other main line.
Okay.
And so I'm going to give you guys my personal in here. And I haven't memorized the number yet, so I got to look at my notes.
Right ahead, because I am going to call you.
Oh, will you?
Oh, yes, I will.
Okay. Can we go back to the PowerPoint, please? While I take a swig of water. Did you guys have any questions so far about the AI architect or anything else? We're about halfway through.
Not at all.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. So just to be clear, the philosophy underneath the 8 steps of the AI architect is just to build the workflow before you build the bot. Most people just go, oh, the idea of having an AI bot do my thing, but they don't really understand the foundation of it.
Exactly.
So we make sure it's solid so that you're not going back, constantly trying to fix stuff. You get what I'm saying? So most companies do this backwards. Most people do this backwards. They buy a tool. They figure out what job to give it. Like, just, I have it, now how do I use it? But we reversed that order on purpose because a beautifully built bot performing the wrong role is just it's just an expensive way to disappoint your customers faster. And then it'll leave a bad taste in your mouth about AI in general. So we'll zoom out a little bit and tell you more about how my company kind of plays a part in all this, okay? So the full arc is this. Knowledge gets extracted, you get position, and then we turn it into authority, okay? Now that authority generates leads. People start coming to you. Those leads get nurtured. That nurture turns into monetization. Monetization gets automated where it makes sense, maybe not everywhere. And eventually what you know, that knowledge that's not on your spreadsheet, it becomes scalable intellectual property. So we don't necessarily have one service. We have more of an ecosystem. My brain thinks in systems, and it's been the hardest thing in my life to try to monetize that. But I think I've struck gold with this one. So we have an ecosystem that can intervene at almost any point in the chain, depending on where your business actually is. And so I'm going to be able to show you the shape of that just quite briefly. I don't want to really turn this into a sales pitch, but I want to show you what this would look like as far as engagement is concerned.
Okay? Sounds good to me.
So it's not a giant service menu walkthrough. It's just the general overview. The authority building is about just becoming known for something specific. So right now, my goal is to become known for this, helping people understand how they can weave AI into their business, right? Revenue funnel strategy, that turns the attention into a real pipeline. The knowledge monetization turns what's in your head into a sellable product. Now, honestly, that's really my personal strong suit because I love making books and workbooks and guides and all type of stuff. So you're really going to get into the weeds with that one if you're working directly with me. The AI systems is everything that we've been talking about. The authority ecosystem is basically all of those things working together instead of trying to piecemeal it. Okay. Now the ranges are directional. They're not fixed quotes. Every engagement just gets scoped into the actual problem that you're solving, not just the package. Okay. So I want to show you how all this kind of just comes together. And I'm just going to use a completely fictional example just because I want to be clearly upfront. Okay, I have an important disclaimer before this slide even begins. This is not a client. Okay, this wild company is in its early stage. We've just rebranded and restructured everything. So we don't have any invented case studies to flaunt. This is just illustrative on how we think. Okay, is that clear? Okay, great. Clear. So imagine a leadership consultant, right? They've had 15 years of expertise. They have a handful of presentations. They're all on hard drives and Google Drives. They have some recorded workshops, but nobody's watched it more than a couple times, maybe me. A small, quiet email list that they probably haven't nurtured very well. And sporadic LinkedIn activity. Let me ask the panel, how many times do you guys update your LinkedIn?
I haven't ever. I don't even update my Facebook. I don't update.
See? So no pun intended, but how wild. No, but we would think, this is how we would think about it. So we would take your recorded expertise, all those presentations and those unfinished white papers and all that kind of stuff. We would mine that for your expertise and grab out the core ideas. Okay. We'd find the frameworks that would stick and get people's attention.
You do white papers?
Huh?
You do white papers?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I could, but I don't. I was just saying, like, some people have a lot of unfinished white papers, essays, books, where they put their expertise, but it's not out in the public, basically. Okay. So we would just take.
Could you briefly say what a white?
However you have your knowledge is where we would grab that expertise to find the core ideas that you really want to push to your audience. And so then we would go into LinkedIn, thought leadership, and a newsletter. That'd be the next step. Start cultivating your audience on LinkedIn. People are sleeping on it. LinkedIn is doing a lot of good work for people who are doing B2B and finding jobs, and businesses finding partners and stuff like that. I even heard that LinkedIn newsletters are actually doing really well as far as conversion. So you want to focus on optimizing your LinkedIn. Then the newsletter that you made will earn a lead magnet. Then the lead magnet would feed an email nurture sequence, because now people want to get more information from you. And that nurture sells a workshop. You've been nurturing your email for a few months. You're like, hey guys, putting together a workshop to really dive deep into all the stuff you've loved hearing or reading about from me. Let's go. So then the workshop becomes a course or a licensable framework. The whole body of the expertise is now an AI knowledge base. So remember in the beginning or previously, we talked about having a knowledge base for your AI agent. Now this is culminating into that at this stage. So you take that knowledge base, it powers that AI assisted content system that keeps producing without you, the founder, writing every single word by hand. And that's not exotic, it's just an intentional sequence instead of something that you're accidentally fumbling through as far as like, how do I use AI? And that's the model on just a single business. Okay. So I want to show you how Wild has the model for itself, because I have to apply it to my company, right, in order to show exactly how well it is. So we're not trying to stay just a 1-person, 2-person consulting shop forever. I want to be clear and I want to be honest with everybody here. I'm not trying to be bigger than what I am. But this is the model that we're building towards, and it runs from consulting to insights to frameworks to real IP to digital products, AI tools, technology, and then to scale. So practically that looks like the Wild company, that's the main company that is the consulting and strategy part of it. You work directly with, I work directly with people like you guys. And
You're
then
doing
my
good.
supplement.
I like what you're doing. We're not worried about where you are. We know where you're going to be. And I like where you are right now. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. That means so much. It really does. So yeah, the Wild company is like, the house. In that house, we have Wildco Tech. That's where we have our AI tools. We're building apps on the side. I have a lot of app ideas. Some are industry related. They're going to be helping out certain industries and nonprofits. Also, proprietary technology that's being developed, including the AI agent architect that's under Wildco Tech. And then we have wildco.io, which is just our client-facing portal and ecosystem that we're building. So when you guys become clients, we'll say, hey, log into wildco.io, and you'll have all the things that you need there. And we're building this in public in real time. I've been mostly on TikTok, kind of starting to, what's the word? When you're not chronological, but like chronicling. Yes, chronicling my journey into this. And like you said, I'd rather tell you where I'm headed versus dressing up where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want to get too deep into what AI can do, because you guys have already kind of mentioned it when you're talking about, building movies and the apps and stuff like that. But I do want to spend some real time on a question that most AI conversations skip entirely, and that's whether or not it should even be in the process. So the question isn't, can AI do the thing? The better question is, should AI do the thing? And so recently, because again, I'm reaching out to people, I did a demo for a new lawyer friend for an AI receptionist. And she runs her own firm. She's in, she does legal, she's a lawyer, but she's in estate planning and like wills and stuff, right? And so she has a real pain point. She was missing calls, missing follow-ups, essentially losing some business due to the slow response times during the off hours, because she uses a virtual assistant. And so even when the virtual assistant is out, she's paying, upwards of $2,000 for this VA to come in and answer voicemails and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, AI could definitely solve that problem. I'm not saying don't use your VA, but you can help, streamline what they're doing to make your process go faster. And technically, it was a clean fit. My solution was a good fit for her, but she said no. And she said no for a good reason, right? Her clientele skews to the older side. She knows that keeping every interaction human, even though it's imperfect and sometimes slow, mattered more to her audience than fixing the inefficiency. And that's fair. That's okay. She would rather tolerate some missed calls here and there than change what her customer experienced when they called her, because they value not having to deal with a robot, right? And so that conversation kind of stuck with me. And it was like, how was it that the pain point doesn't automatically justify the need for automation? But then it hit me spiritually. What I believe is like sometimes because it feels good or because it is good doesn't always mean it's the right thing for that situation. And this is basically the same thing. Sometimes protecting the human experience in this case is worth more than optimizing the workflow around it. So most people will ask, can AI do this? Almost always the answer is going to be yes at this point. But the better question that we should actually use to protect your business is, should AI do this? And this is what the human test answers. It's a simple framework for deciding whether or not you should use automation and where it could belong in your process. So H is for human value. Um, is human interaction actually part of what you're selling? So in her example, it was. If people choose you and your company because they want care, trust, reassurance, or real connection, please do not automate the moments that define that experience. Don't put don't put an AI where a human is supposed to be. Protect what makes you human, okay? U is for user expectation. What does your customer actually expect from you? In this case, her customers expected her not to use AI. Why would she turn around and use AI? Some audiences want speed and convenience above everything, while others expect a real person, and anything that feels like a bait and switch, they don't want it,
That
right?
sounds like me.
Right? So AI should support the expectation that the brand already sets, but it should never violate it. For M, meaning of the interaction. Is it transactional or is it relational? Like booking an appointment, for example. It's not the same as navigating sensitive client information. How many times you got a call about something real specific to your situation and you're stuck with an AI bot? It's annoying. Maybe don't do that. Right? So there's a difference between navigating sensitive client information or booking an appointment. The more emotionally loaded the moment, the more carefully and slowly you should approach automating it. You might consider it, but maybe introduce it a little at a time if that's what you want to do. Now, A is for automation advantage. What meaningful improvement would AI actually create here? That's a good question. Use it when it clearly saves time, when it clearly reduces missed opportunities or improves response speed, or if it just frees up your human team more time to do more higher value human work. Okay, if you can't name the advantage specifically, then that's a sign. Maybe not. Now, N is for net effect on trust. This is the one that matters the most. Now, after you automate this part of your system, does the trust in your organization go down or does it go up? If the experience feels smoother, cleaner, more responsive, perfect. It's in the right place. But if people feel dismissed or disconnected or they start rethinking things, then no matter how much time it saved you, it's going to cost you. Does that make any sense? Does everybody, are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes. Your points are well taken.
Why, thank you. So briefly, I just want you guys to take a screenshot of this slide because this is going to be your homework. Okay. I want you guys to take about Right now, I want you to take about 30 seconds and just think about one task that your business, the one task in your business you've considered handling AI or using AI to handle, whether it's scheduling, FAQs, follow-ups, intake, whatever it is. Okay. Maybe it's who would actually be interacting with this system. You want to ask yourself that question. You want to figure out, would that person experience this as a convenience or as a barrier? Is this interaction predictable enough to automate, or does it change every time and every experience? What would AI need to know to do this part very well? What decisions would you actually trust it to make on its own? And just as important, what decisions would you be like, nah, I would never want you to make these decisions without me? When does an actual human person need to step in? And last but not least, consider, what is the cost of the AI if it gets it wrong?
Right.
What's the cost if AI gets this whole thing just incorrect? What's the cost? The higher the consequence, the more deliberate you need to be about keeping a human in the loop. So your homework is to take no more than about 5 to 10 minutes and consider that one task that you just thought of and ask yourself these questions. You should be able to use it to assess whether or not AI is good for that particular part of your process. Okay? Now, here's the thing I want to leave you with, though. It's not just a binary choice. It's not just two different options, right? The pattern connects directly to what we had just walked through, the human test. It doesn't usually spit out a clean yes or no. Sometimes it's a hybrid, right? AI handles the after hours response, the routine FAQs, basic qualification. A human will handle the sensitive conversations, the unusual situations, relationship building, the complex things, right? High stakes decisions. AI should never be your decision maker. That's AI ethics number one. Okay. The whole point of why I built my company the way that I did, I'm in the AI business, and I'll be the first to tell you that sometimes the answer is not to use AI. Sometimes you shouldn't use AI.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you again. You don't need AI for every single thing. My job isn't to sell you automation on everything. My job is only to help you design a better business. And sometimes AI is the answer. Sometimes a human is the answer. And this is why I always push for a hybrid approach. Increasingly, the real skill isn't just picking one, but it's knowing exactly where each one belongs in the process. Does that make sense with everybody?
It does. Perfect.
Yes, indeed. So I'll only have a couple more slides left with you guys. I actually recently just made a post about this on TikTok. It's 5 questions, or it's 5 or 6 questions. However many questions it is, these are the questions you should ask before you automate. Okay. If you remember nothing else from the human test, I want you to remember these 6 questions. Who is this serving? What problem is it actually solving? Or are you just doing this just because it's cool? What does the AI need to know? What is it allowed to decide? When does a human take over? And what happens if it gets it wrong?
Oops.
Okay, don't automate just because you can. You'll find yourself either taking on more than you can chew or slipping on your pimping. We don't want either one of those. So automate where it creates value without sacrificing trust. And I want you guys to make sure you guys take a picture of this one too, because I'd rather leave you with this slide than anything else. Before you even take my business card, you should have this slide. Because most people will tell you, oh, just automate AI, everything. No. It's not for everything. It's not for everybody. Okay? So I want to bring this all back to closing. We're going to kind of circle back to where we started here. What does your organization know that isn't working hard enough for you yet? AI isn't valuable because it can generate more. It's valuable when you give it something worth multiplying, because it's your multiplier. It's your expertise. It's your systems, your IP, your POV, you already have more assets than you think. Wow Company is just here to help you multiply that using AI. AI isn't, it's not here to replace you. Okay, it's here to support you. Right now, we're looking for 4 beta clients for our flagship program. So if you would like to be one of the 4 to experience what this is like, then I ask that you guys send me an email. I know it's kind of hard to see, but the email is info@thewildcompanyllc.com. Put in the subject beta and tell me what it is that your industry is and why you want to experience the process of how we can take your knowledge base and using AI, turn it into something that can increase your authority and ultimately scale what it is that you have in your business.
I definitely need that. Let me write down that email address. I can't.
For those on the panel, it is in the chat, in the private
Okay.
chat. So you should be able to copy that. And if it's not something that's for you at this time, please become a referral source. I am looking for anybody who's willing to just say, hey, I know a guy. And I build AI agents. Just like I know somebody who built AI agents, talk to her.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Did you guys have
Very-
any questions or anything?
That was a lot. And you have so much knowledge. And what I am trying to do is meet the community, to introduce the community to AI and other technologies from that perspective. But you have so much knowledge and know-how that you would be an essential part of what my vision is for the community from a non-experienced level, starting from scratch. In other words, that's what I'm saying. But I would definitely like to use you as a resource just to show me what direction I need to go and to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish for the community, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have that conversation. And then too, if you're open to it, we can always talk about sharing this presentation to others. And if you have an audience, that you want me to speak to, or do a crash course or something or anything like that, we can definitely work that out as far as how we work together.
Most
And you can
definitely.
definitely come back here again and share with us again. And I'm actually sharing with my Facebook page and my YouTube page. This recording is going to be shared there. It's being shared there. So you're there.
Wow, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
But thank you. Really appreciate you being here today.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity. MJ found me and I was like, oh, great. Wow, this is awesome.
Yes,
I said,
indeed.
this is the person of interest. We need to talk to her.
Yeah, so
Yes,
this has
indeed.
been a really good presentation. We definitely appreciate the hard work, time, and dedication you put into this in reference. I mean, I've never seen anything this detailed in reference to, collaborating with artificial intelligence. So this is a first for me. I mean, I've fiddled around with a couple of the AI platforms, but not to this extent. So this is wonderful. This is great.
Amazing.
So generally, the last thing that we do on our program is we ask our guests to speak to our audience. If you have any advice or whatever is on your mind, go ahead and speak to our audience at this time.
Just talk to them, Brittany.
Hey, y'all. First and foremost, I just want to acknowledge the people who are out there that are going through the ups and downs. They might be in the valleys right now. They might be feeling a little low. They might be feeling a little discouraged. They might be questioning their career, their job, the safety of their, economic situation. But one of the things that I would like to tell you is that you have everything that you need. You have everything that you need to go beyond what you see right now in front of you. You 100% have what it takes. You have the gall, you have the knowledge, you have the skill set, and we see you. God sees you, and you have to choose your passion and your purpose every single time, even when it feels ugly, even when it's hard, even when it goes against the grain and it looks scary, because determination is never denied. And if your determination is in alignment with your purpose, you can't do anything but win.
Exactly.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Miss Lizzie Woody, if you can please do your close out.
Wow. I always say that at the end most of the time, wow, because, most of the guests that we have are hitting on something that affects our community. And what you're providing is something that's overwhelming in a sense to our community. And we need people like MelaNation to get that information out, to infiltrate the community, to understand that it's doable, but we have to work together to make it happen. So I appreciate you. I appreciate the audience. I appreciate MelaNation App as well.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Miss Jean-Pierre.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy that you tuned in. If you didn't, you go back and look at it. If you're just now getting here, go back to the beginning because Brittany Reeves is amazing. I'm just so happy that you are here with us, Brittany. Thank you so much for coming. We have been talking about this subject, Lizzie and I, and she's always talking about this and how to get this to the people. She's always talking about the new technologies that we know nothing about. We don't know how to use it. And so you came and you shared, and I say you came and you conquered so much. And I know that I personally am going to be working with you. I'm so happy that I found you. I found her, everybody. It was
She
me.
did. She discovered me.
Thank you, Ms. Jean-Pierre. Thank you.
You are
Yes,
so
thank you.
welcome. Hats off to you if I had my hat on. But anyway, I want to thank you, Brittany, for being here. And I know you got to come back and do another presentation like this because people really need this. It is so needed. And hopefully, I know you're going to draw some customers from coming here and sharing with us. That's going to be a breakthrough for you and us. We appreciate you so much. And you guys keep watching Post-Maafa Reconstruction and join MelaNation App. And Brittany, I'll be talking to you later about
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ashe, ashe.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
That being said, I'd just like to read this last little slide here, which is thank you for watching. See you again. We're here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. In the meantime, in between time, reach us on the MelaNation app and definitely reach out to our guest speakers. Right? Other than that, everyone have a good night. Ashe, ashe, and ashe.
Good night, everybody. I'm going to go.
See you next Wednesday, 6 p.m.